Morning. All right, let's get it going. All right, in the US, green across the board. I think they ended slightly higher than where they were trading when we closed, but giving up about 5 points this morning. So I think US markets pretty much exactly where they were when we closed yesterday. Technology shares outperformed. We had Intel announcing that Q3 earnings would beat analyst estimates. We had Microsoft, IBM, and Cisco Systems all benefiting from this news and rallying. And then we had more corporate action. Time Warner rallied after rejecting a takeover bid by 20th Century Fox. And then US PPI came in hot at 0.4% versus the 0.2% expected. Out of Asia, still no real direction. You can see there, Aussie up small, Nikkei down small, Hang Seng down small, and the only one that really moved a little bit was Shanghai. After worries about constructor sector increased, with Huatong Road and Bridge issuing debt-related warnings. We had Australia making a new 6-year high as resources rallied, with Mount Gibson leading after beating earnings estimates. I saw Belize and Rio also up quite a bit on the back of probably London trading yesterday. And then I see we have 10% down 1% in sort of South African related news. So we might have Naspers come off a little bit this morning. Interesting trend out of hedge funds recently. The alpha downtrend by Charlie Bolello. You can see, alpha obviously being, how much the market is, how much a fund is outperforming the general market, and you can see in the 90s, real outperformance between sort of 10 and 20% outperformance, and they became really popular over that time. But since then, the outperformance has slowly decreased down to sort of negative alpha, since 2008. So it hasn't been an easy environment for hedge funds recently. All right, so coming out today, we had Kumba Iron Ore, Anglo Platinum, and Anglo American. They've all come out this morning. I haven't had a chance to really read through them, but I think one of my colleagues says Anglo American looks decent on first glance, but obviously we'll have to look into those numbers a little more. And then out of the US, we have United Health Group, Philip Morris, Morgan Stanley, IBM, Google, and Schlumberger. So some big ones there to watch out for, to give the US some direction later. 11 o'clock, we have CPI out of the Eurozone. We have US house starts, US national jobless claims, building permits, Bloomberg consumer comfort, and Philadelphia Fed business outlook. So we've got some numbers to watch out for there, especially jobless claims, obviously. And then obviously a big one for SA, we have the SA Reserve Bank announcing interest rates. I think they're expecting about 25 basis point increase. So we'll obviously be watching those retailers, banks, and property construction stocks pretty closely to see, obviously at that time, depending on what the announcement is, whether it's hot or whether there's no cut. All right, let's have a look at a few charts. All right, the first one we'll have a look at is the Aussie. This is a 30-minute chart of the Aussie. You can see yesterday we had this inverse head and shoulder form in the 30-minute chart, and broke up from there. Had a nice rally yesterday, but came off sort of in the last hour of the day. It's continued. We're down about 100 points, 93 points at the moment. But there's still a little bit of a higher target based on this inverse head and shoulder. So if we get a little bit of stability out of markets, don't be surprised if we don't see a little more rallying out of our market. Previous high from a few days ago was around about 47,260, and I think we're projecting from this inverse head and shoulders about 47,300. So we possibly still have a few hundred points to rally this week. Obviously, you want to watch the trade action and not preempt anything. The next one I wanted to show was AVI. sort of showing it on a weekly. It's one we've shown once or twice over the last couple of months. It's had this big breakout of a large broadening wedge, and it's taken a few years to complete. So it's one that's potentially got a nice big target. It's really been sort of volatile intraday, and but every single time it sort of finds support. So it's one that you probably want to keep a core on to reach the full target, and trade in and out on slightly oversold and overbought areas. Next one I want to show is MTN. MTN's been, let me just get back to daily. MTN's been flagging recently, very controlled sort of sell-off from the high at 235, found support at 220, and as of yesterday, it just broke out of the flag that it's been forming at 225. I think I wanted to see a little more confirmation on this. I want to see that the seller that's been around for the last few weeks disappear, which I don't think I've seen that confirmation yet. Let's see how it performs today when there's a slightly negative market. If it can still hold that 225 level, then it might be worth adding to go and retest those highs. And then I wanted to show Billy's. Billy's is obviously one of those that's really solid, and you're going to be looking for pullbacks over time to buy. Let's just get a weekly on here for you. Okay, so as you can see on the weekly, a very, very solid uptrend. Let me just go a little further out. And so there we can see a very big symmetrical triangle that it broke out of, showing a really large target of I think the target for this one's about 471 over the long term, which is quite a bit higher than here, about 20 or 30% higher. So basically, when we see a massive breakout like this on a weekly chart, we want to be looking for pullbacks from the daily and on the shorter term time frames to buy on. So if we go to a daily, we see another. Well, this one's not quite as clear cut, but it's another symmetrical triangle breakout, which happened sort of the end of June. It's really rocketed up since then. We probably slightly overbought, so not all that easy to buy it from here. But we've made a new high here as of yesterday, and the target from this symmetrical triangle breakout is about 390. So still a bit of upside from here. And if we bang it down to a 30-minute chart, here we can see it's been consolidating. Broke out of that only just broke out from the high from about 10 days ago, but we're looking for, we can get a clear break above sort of 372, then we could get some follow through on the 30-minute time frame, the target being around 385. So it's a good example of a stock that's showing higher targets on longer term daily and short term time frames. So definitely one we want to look at buying pullbacks on going forward. Then slightly more negative, we've got Impala's. Impala's really looked like it had a chance to recover after this breakdown that it's from also another symmetrical triangle. It broke down, tested the breakdown point and failed again. And now it's going down to sort of test the lows. I think the lows was around about 106.50, more or less. Closed at 108 yesterday. Really can't get a bid even in the strong market. As you can see from this I don't want to give a target, but this symmetrical triangle is pretty large. I mean, the target would be sub 100. So unless we can get some strength out of Impala's, expect some more downside there. All right, let's have a look at Foschini's. This is obviously we're going to keep an eye on today with the Reserve Bank releasing its rates decision. But also made a new sort of recent high at 116, broke through, closed at 117, I think, or just south of 117. I think it was trading at 117, but closed just below. But still a bit of a breakout from this formation. Target would be, I would say approximately into the early 120s. So yeah, expect more strength out of Foschini's if rate supported. And then the last one I wanted to show was Standard Bank. So Standard Bank holding its recent uptrend, hasn't been able to really get the lift that the other banks have gotten recently, but still holding very steady. No real panic out of it. I'd say if we get a close below this uptrend, 144 give or take, then there might be a little bit of concern. But for now, it's all set to sort of move into the 150s if we can find a little more support here. And that's all for today, guys. Good luck.